Welcome to Book Time with Ryan. I am Ryan, and this is going to be the first video that I'm going to wear my glasses through the entire thing. I moved my light. I figured out how to move my light and move the position of my camera, and we will see how that turns out. But if I don't tilt my head up too far, I should be able to avoid glare. I did two things this week. No, I did a lot of things this week. I guess stupid. I've done a number of things this week. But a couple things that I probably should have known how to do earlier. I had Bookcrawler, the app, on my phone to kind of log my books when I got them. But you really couldn't do anything else with it, I don't think, unless I had no idea what I was doing, which is possible. So I got Goodreads this week, and I don't really know what I'm doing with it. I loaded one bookshelf, this one, and that took forever. But I like it. I mean, it's cool that it tracks your reading. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. So, and it really is horrible to load your books all at once. I'm sure it's nice when you do it one at a time, but loading them all at once. And I had some books that didn't register, so then I had to go and create them in the system, which was also annoying, and they're pretty incomplete. But at least I got the title and the author. I finished one book this week, yesterday, and I started a new one yesterday. And I'm probably going to finish that book tomorrow. So I will talk about the book that I read. I will talk about the book that I am reading. And I will tell you how I came to that author. And then I'll finish it up with a classic. The Little Mermaid. It's Ariel. This is the new obsession in our house. My daughter turns 3 this week, so I'm very excited for that. I was going to try to show you a book that means a lot to me that I got from my parents, that I read. It was the first book I read to her, to Noelia, our daughter. But she's having trouble going to sleep tonight, so I'm not going in her room, and my wife just took over trying to put her to sleep. Noelia demanded mommy instead of daddy tonight, which made me feel really, really good. Okay, so the first book is the book that I finished this week. I'm not going to go too in detail. It's called Game Theory. It's an economics book. This is Game Theory, a non-technical introduction, revised edition by Morton D. Davis. Revised edition from 1983. Game theory is just a way to think about how other people are going to do things, and what you would do with the knowledge of what you think they'll do, and with the knowledge that they probably are thinking that you're thinking about what they're going to do. An example might be, and I'm going to butcher this, but you have 3 people that were fired from a job or were let go from a firm. One's a lawyer, one's an engineer, and one's an accountant. And another firm offers them jobs, and it offers them a certain dollar amount if 2 join, but 2 of the 3, but it's different dollar amount per combination. So if the lawyer and the accountant join, they'll get, let's say 70. No, that seems a little low. $150,000 each, or $150,000 total. That's probably low too. If I screwed this up because I don't remember what I even said. Anyway, basically, each pairing has a different amount of money that they could get together, but they can decide how they're going to divide that amount. So it makes sense for the 2 people that can get the most amount together, they would get together and say, all right, let's split it 50-50, let's say. Well, this other person could come and say, hey, I want to join in. Right now I'm getting nothing. So, hey, other guy, if you, or girl, if you join with me, I will give you a higher portion of the money we're going to split than what you would be getting with this other person. And it kind of goes back and forth. They can kind of talk each other down. The person who's not getting it can always try to insert himself or herself into the process to kind of steal away the person that they're trying to convince. If you understood that, cool. If you didn't, that's my fault. But that's kind of what the whole book was about. It's a lot of stuff. If you follow any kind of behavioral economics stuff, they're Dan O'Connor, Thinking Fast and Slow. it's stuff that you're probably more familiar with now. It was probably more cutting edge in 1983. I liked it. There was some pretty heavy math stuff in here, which I didn't really care for. But it was good. And also, I play online games with some buddies. Online games being very old looking, like basically a board game called Diplomacy. And I thought maybe game theory could help me win. And it hasn't this game, at least. But maybe it helped the last game I played with them because I won that game. So I finished that yesterday, Game Theory. Finished Game Theory yesterday. I don't know how people give stars because on Goodreads, you can only give full stars, it seems like. So I gave this 3 stars, which is fine. I would read it again. It was a little painful just because it was a little heavy in some places with the math. All right, so the next one, the book that I just started and I'm pretty close to finishing, according to BookReads, I am 69% completed or finished with it or through it. Is a book by Dan Simmons. Now, Dan Simmons is one of my favorite authors, and let me tell you how I found Dan Simmons. I was in, I think, a Barnes & Noble. I guess it could have been a Borders back then, but it was probably Barnes & Noble. And I don't know why I was there. I don't even remember when this was. It was definitely, let's see. When was this printed? Nope, probably not 1989. I don't know when this version came out. I don't know. Within the last 15 years, let's say. So I was in a bookstore and I saw this cover and I was like, holy shit, that's creepy. Like, what is that? I don't even know if that really applies to what the book was about, but very creepy cover. I definitely judged the book by its cover, and I got it. It's called Caring Comfort. Stephen King said that it is one of the 3 greatest horror novels of the 20th century. Simple as that. I loved it. I ruined 3 songs on a Muse CD because I was on a train and I listened to it, the same 3 songs that let me kind of block out the rest of the people on the train and read the book, but I kept hearing the same 3 songs because it would distract me, and now I associate those 3 songs with Caring Comfort. I think Exogenous, something like that, Exogenesis. It's the last 3 songs on one of the Muse CDs. It was very intense, but I loved it. And then from there, I read Dan Simmons' The Terror, which I also wanted to read to get ready for the mini series that was on TV, which I didn't finish the series on TV, not because I didn't want to, just because I didn't, because of time. I don't know. There wasn't a good reason. After I read Carry On Comfort. I've been saying Carry On Comfort, like Carry On Baggage, for a long time. It's Carry On. My dad told me that today, Carry On Comfort. After I read that book and that copy specifically, and you can tell it's pretty beat up. It's pretty beat up. These are not creases that came with it. Once I read that, I was like, man, I really love this book. I want to get something cooler. So I got this first edition special edition from, I don't know, from 1989. It's signed by the author, Dan Simmons, and the artist. There was some renderings by an artist in here. This is number 172 out of 450 total. I don't know if we can find any pictures in here. I mean, there's got to be, right? There's an artist. There's got to be. There we go. The one that I read didn't have pictures. There's a picture. Oh, God. So I got that. That's cool. That was kind of my little exciting buy for Dan Simmons. But when I got on BookTube, I started trying to find people's reviews of Carrying Comfort. Man, I I left something out of it. A little piece of paper that has a description on it from the person I bought it from. Lauren Bayer Rare Books Incorporated. Where are they from? I don't know. I got on BookTube, and I got really into looking for authors that I liked, and I wanted to watch reviews about those authors. So I eventually found Ariel Comfort, and I started watching those reviews, and Hyperion too, which I love Hyperion. I didn't bring those books up here. They're back there. I've read all the Hyperion ones. There's 4 related books for that. And as I was watching these reviews, which were cool, and if you haven't read this book, read this book. Please read this book and then talk to me about it, because I love this book and nobody's read it. And it's like, I watched Silence in the movie theater with Garfield, whatever his name is, the Spider-Man dude, Andrew Garfield, and what's his name from Star Wars, and they're Jesuit priests that go to Japan to spread the word, and it's pretty rough. It's a rough movie. It is a movie where I left there completely. I needed somebody to talk to, and there was nobody else that had watched it. And I went to work for the next month begging people to see the movie so I could talk to somebody about it. And nobody did. And I've internalized that for the rest of my life. But Ariel Comfort, I really want somebody to read it and talk to me about it, because it was that good. And it's hard to... I don't want to say anything about it, because it was so good and so many things happen in it, and you just need to trust me on that. But I feel like if I said anything, it would ruin it. And if I try to describe it, it makes it sound stupid. But it's not stupid. It's really, really, really good. So, while I was looking at those reviews, I came across people talking about the Song of Kali, which is from 1985. So, Ariel Comfort's from 1989. It's from 1985, and it takes place in Calcutta, India, which I don't think I've really read anything that takes place there. I think maybe the only movie I've watched is Slumdog Millionaire that takes place in India, maybe, and a regular show that we watch in our house, Mira, Royal Detective. But I don't think I've read books that take place there. It's creepy. It's about some kind of 4-armed god named Kali that people in Calcutta worship. And there's this kind of secret sect that performs... I don't know if this is a spoiler. I don't know. Maybe it says it somewhere on here, the things that I'm telling you. It doesn't, so maybe it's kind of spoilerish. They do things, and they're creepy. They're creepy things that they do to people in the name of this god that is pretty mean, it seems like. Although it sounds like she's hot but mean. And I have maybe 70 pages left. 70 or 80 pages left. So I'll probably finish that tomorrow. I'm liking it. I do like it. It's very different from the other ones that he's written, and I think it was his first full-length novel. And Dean Koontz says it's the best first novel in a genre he can remember, and he calls Dan Simmons brilliant. That's Dean Koontz, who wrote Intensity, another book that I like. So that's kind of just my plug for Dan Simmons. And I will talk a little bit more about this when I finish it. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. There's 100 more pages. Anything could happen in 100 more pages. Maybe he's just dreaming it. I don't know. There's so much left. All right. The last thing. The Little Mermaid. That's Ariel. My daughter thinks these are called nipples. And I'm trying it. I don't know what they're called. Like top? Like a bikini top or something? They're not nipples. I know what nipples are. Those are not them. But my my wife is not a huge fan of Ariel the Little Mermaid because there's a little too much kissing in it. Diane likes strong, independent women, and we want our daughter to be strong and independent. And it seems like Ariel is a little dependent on finding Prince Eric, and it just seems like their relationship moves pretty quickly. Like, she sees him. This is not ruining the movie, I don't think. And I'm gonna ruin this. There's spoilers. Spoiler alert for Little Mermaid. So Ariel's a mermaid. She lives in the mer world, and her father is King Trident. And we don't know who her mom is, but there are a lot of siblings. So it may be one of those kind of fishy things where they just go and fertilize a bunch of eggs. And then the Little Mermaid Ariel was born. She likes to visit the surface, and she likes human things, like statues, and she likes forks that they call dinglehoppers. And she sees a guy that she thinks is really cute, and his name's Prince Eric. There's Prince Eric. Oh, don't want to ruin that. Don't look there yet. Okay, that's Prince Eric. So she sees him, then there's a lightning strike, and there's a big wave, and she has to save him, and she sings to him, and then she rescues him and puts him on land, and then she has to hide because humans are coming. She's in love, and then her dad is mad at her. He's furious, so he trashes her stuff, and then she goes to the sea witch, Ursula, who, I just want to say this, if you're going to be some kind of half human looking, half sea animal thing, picking the other half to be an octopus, I think is a much better idea. Like, they have fins to be mermaids. Who gives a shit, right? You have 8 tentacles. They're hands. You can do so much stuff with that. Octopuses are really cool, and it is octopuses. I actually had to look that up. It's not octopi. It's octopuses. Anyway, so Ursula takes Ariel's voice and gives her feet. Ariel goes on land, sees Eric. Eric is like, hey, you look familiar. You're real cute. Why don't you come to my house? And she's like, sure. That sounds like a really great idea. Not dangerous at all. So she goes to Prince Eric's palace, and they're like chilling. But Eric's like, oh, because you can't sing, you're not the one for me. And they almost kissed, but these eels floats him and jets him, push him in the water. So Ursula turns herself into somebody named Vanessa. Like, it's a weird, with all the names in the book and in the movie, like, Vanessa just seems weird to have that as the name. Vanessa. I've known a couple Vanessas. And, I guess they were all cool, but like, I don't know. It just seemed out of place. It did not seem like the palace, the lands that Eric came from, Prince Eric, would have had a Vanessa. So Vanessa is like wooing him. Vanessa meets him one day. She sings to him. One day they decide to get married the next day. And I think that's maybe what my wife always has a problem with. There's no like courting here. It's just like it's time to get married, Vanessa. But it turns out Vanessa is actually Ursula. And Scuttle, the seagull, he sees it and he lets him know, and then all the friends help out. And then Prince Eric kills Ursula. I don't remember the movie. Apparently, Eric pilots a vessel that came up during this big storm, and the bowsprit or whatever was splintered, and he drove it into her heart. And there were a couple times where you're reading this to a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. And it was like kind of like the kissy stuff. Like, she doesn't even know that. She doesn't really know what nipples are. I mean, she does. She knows. Well, she kind of knows what they are, but also is confused sometimes. These are not. They cover them. You probably know that. But also, like, how many books do you get where the main character, or one of the main characters, kills the bad person. I don't know. I kind of do have some problems with it. The problem is now Noelia is such a big fan of the Little Mermaid that she wears her Little Mermaid PJs, and she brings her Little Mermaid dolls, and then we have to read this. And this is not for a little kid book. And so when you read to little kids, there's kind of like a capacity that they can stand, and then they get bored. And this is pretty close to the edge of that for a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old. Sometimes you don't get through it, but she always brings it to me. My wife hid it for a little while, and she kept asking for it, and I had no idea where it was, and then I found out it was hidden because of all the kissy stuff. But she loves it right now. She's never seen the movie. I think like what 3-year-olds do or 2-year-olds do is they talk it up to their friends at daycare, at school, and they just think that they know what the deal is once their friends tell them about different princesses. Noelia knows about a lot more princesses than she's seen. She's seen Moana. She likes Moana, and she likes Anna and Elsa and Anna. And she's seen Belle. We've seen a couple of videos, just music, like the music, not they're really music videos, the clips with the songs in them. And then a couple clips from The Little Mermaid, but she hasn't seen any of those movies. She's only seen the 2 Frozen movies and Moana, Moana. And somehow she knows about the other ones. So I don't know where she's getting that intel, but. So that's it. That's it tonight. Sorry I've been away. I know there are 14 or 15 subscribers, so thank you for subscribing. My best friend from college, Kyle. I don't know if Kyle subscribed, but he said he's watching it, and he's had some feedback. So thanks, Kyle. This is not a podcast. Kyle is an officer in the Coast Guard. He's a commanding officer out of Hawaii, and he is very cool. So vote for him or whatever. Just, I'm not going to tell you his last name, but if you ever have to deal with him, you will enjoy it. So Kyle, thank you for watching. You got your own shout out. And tell Chrissy, your wife, if she would subscribe, I'll give a shout out for her too. I think I'm going to finish Song of Kali tonight or tomorrow. And next on the list is going to be White Collar and Corporate Crime by Gail Geis. And then I think I'm going to read the Agent M spy book about Maxwell Knight from MI5 in the UK. That's kind of the plan. We're going to go out of town, and I'm going to hang out in a pool, like reading in pools. So, or spa, not a pool, a spa. So, thanks again for joining me and being patient. I think I'm going to try to keep the structure and maybe make it a little more finite, but I do want to figure out the kind of the pacing, because the first week I was doing stuff every day. I think that's too much, especially if I'm not offering a whole lot of new stuff. And at some point I want to do a bookshelf tour, but I don't think I have enough subscribers to do that yet. Pretty soon I'll have everything up. I have the dust jacket for Dune, and soon I'll have Dune back, and then I'll have all of my books up on my bookshelf. And I feel like I've seen this edition of Dune so often that it should provide some booktube credibility for me, because there's a lot of books that I don't think are doing that, but Dune should. So I want to see the movie. Anyway, so go Predators, go Peñarol, or Vamos Peñarol. Thanks for joining me again. I'll probably do this in a couple days with a couple other books. And I think I am going to bring up, in the last video I told you that I did something. I bought a book that I had to deal with my wife that I wasn't allowed to buy books for a year. And I'll show you what that book was. It was the first edition of Codex Serafinianus by Luigi Serafini. It was printed in Milan, Italy, and it's very cool. I have the first edition, and then I have the latest edition from 2013. And it's a really weird book. So I'll show that the next video. It's pretty cool, and I think it's one of the neater things in my collection. So, thanks for joining us, or joining me by myself. If you have any ideas, let me know. If you've read Dan Simmons and you like him, let me know. If you've read him and you don't like him, you can let me know that, but I'll be sad. And if you have any suggestions, let me know, too. This is still not being edited, so it's going to be this rough for a while. I have to clear stuff off my computer before I can edit it. All right. I will see you next time. Thanks.